Good afternoon. I'd like to just say this. I was talking to an Asian friend of mine today who was expressing their fear for going out. This people's fear for going out. Um, that a lot of Asians are being assaulted and attacked out of hatred because of this coronavirus. People mistaking them for Chinese. Well, let me tell you this. For those who are engaging in hate crimes towards the Chinese, you ignorant asses. This could have originated from anywhere. It just so happened that it originated in China. But this isn't the Chinese's fault. This is a prophecy that is being fulfilled. It's talked about in a lot of different beliefs. Whether you want to believe or not, and whether you believe in God, our Creator, um, is irrelevant to me. If you don't believe, then you probably don't want to finish listening to the rest of this because it doesn't pertain to you, and probably won't help you. This message is for those that do believe. If you have anger in your heart, you got hatred in your heart, God cannot dwell there. That is not of God. That is not of your higher power. That is not of your Creator. Prejudices. It's not of God. The world will not change the way it is, irregardless. We can all do our part in assisting, but it'll never stop all the hatred. See, because for all of you that believe and that will continue listening to this video, there's tons of other ones that won't. And those ones that won't are the ones that you're not going to be able to reach. That's going to take an act of God Himself, the wrath of God. Who's to say that God doesn't come down on that person, that individual, their loved ones, their family, their children, their grandchildren? That's real. It's realistic, and it's coming. When the Egyptians took the Hebrew slaves, God sent Moses to free them, and then brought His wrath down on the Egyptians who thought they were greater than God Himself. And so I guess what I'm saying is, put yourself above God. Believe that you don't have to answer to God. I believe that what you believe in and what you think is greater than God, and you too will experience these plagues, these illnesses, these deaths. People close to you are going to die. I believe this, and I'm sharing this with you because the hatred's got to stop somewhere. And if you are of God, then clear your mind, clear your heart. If you have resentments towards people, get rid of them. Get rid of them, because you cannot completely claim to be of God until they are gone. If somebody done you wrong, forgive them. If somebody hurt you, forgive them. Black people are my people. Red people are my people. Yellow people are my people. White people are my people. Y'all are my people. I don't care what your political belief is, what your political stance is. I don't care what your spiritual belief is. I don't care what your sexual belief is. You're all my people. I pray for each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. I don't care what you've done in your past. I don't care what kind of skeletons are in your closet. I don't care how you may have betrayed me, what you may have said behind my back. I don't really care. That stuff is really pointless. The truth is that Every time I load the sacred pipe, I'm praying for you and all that you love. You can hate me, you can love me, you can support me, and you can walk away from me. But you can't walk away from God, because you will stand in front of Him one day. As sure as these prophecies are being fulfilled. And like I said, I'm a spiritual man. I'm a spiritual man. I am not a religious man. I don't sit there and try to push my values and my beliefs onto anybody. You have a free mind and a free spirit to choose whatever path you want to go. But your path should be to God, no matter which way you follow. Whether it's Christianity, whether you're Catholic, whether you're Buddhist, Muslim, I don't care what way you follow. Your direction has to be to God. There are many paths, but they all lead to one truth. And that one truth is God, the creator of all living things. This message is to encourage you to find within yourself that God, that godly idea to change the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way that we see each other. What happened to the world? Where did we change? And when did we start changing? When did we stop spending time with our kids? We're all guilty of it, all of us, including myself. When did we stop spending time with our kids and teaching them how to be men and women? Teaching them responsibility, teaching them how to catch a ball and how to throw a ball. When did we stop spending that time with our children and just sticking them in front of a video game and letting that video game become their sitter? How many people still do that? Hey, as long as they're quiet, they're not bothering me, let them play the video game. What are they learning in front of that video game? Are they learning responsibility? Are they learning respect? Are they learning what it is to take care of responsibilities such as do dishes, assist and help cook dinner, split wood, cut grass, take garbage out? Are our parents assuming that responsibility because it's easier for them to do it rather than have their children do it and teach them responsibility? We all have a responsibility to everybody around us, and to teach right, and to teach them right. My message today is love and forgiveness, compassion, and to understand that people, no matter what direction they come from, are your people. If you see them differently, if you love them differently because of who they are, what they believe, or the color of their skin, that's the same as looking down your nose at them. Who am I as a man? And I can sit and say I'm a spiritual man, I'm a man of God. Who am I to judge somebody for what they think, what they believe, and who they want to be, and who they are, or whatever? I'm nobody. There's only one divine power that has that right, and it sure ain't me. So whenever I get into position that I want to feel self-righteous, like I can judge somebody because of their weight, height, color of their hair, color of their skin, or whether they're gay or straight, God have pity on me. I don't have that right. I have done things in my life that I will answer for. I have done things that I was ashamed of, that I've been ashamed of, and I've asked pity for them. I've asked forgiveness, and I've asked for help and guidance in changing and becoming a different man. It's sad It's sad to think that the world has become a very self-centered, selfish place, a place of hate, a place of disrespect and disregard, where children are disrespecting their parents, where they're disrespecting adults, where they're self-mutilating, self-destructing, and destroying themselves. Our children are dying. Our children are killing. They're dying and they're becoming murderers. They're becoming thieves. They're becoming pimps. They're becoming pushers. They're becoming victims. This too shall pass. And it's not too late. But we have to start teaching the young ones, the children now that are coming up. Learn from our mistakes, from our shortcomings, from our lack of responsibility as adults to guide and teach our children. These ones now that are in their 20s, these ones now that are in their teens, later teens, that have already experienced things. And you can't blame them either, because a lot of them have experienced a lot of abandonment issues. Abandonment. They feel like they've been abandoned, and they're out there carrying on. If we want to make the world a better place, then we have to do our part. It is our responsibility. You can overlook it and say, "Well, that's not my problem." No, maybe not now, but greater things are coming, like a pandemic, and that is your problem. You can say it's not your problem, but that's going to hit everyone around you, everyone around me, and everyone's going to be affected by it. It doesn't discriminate, and neither should we. When we give our heart and soul to helping the people around us, there's a lot of people that are afraid, there's a lot of people who are panicking, and there's a lot of people who are scared. This pandemic is going to identify who are leaders and who are sheep. There are going to be heroes that are going to arise from all of this. There are people who are going to step forward and put themselves at risk for the well-being of many. Whether it's the young lady or young man in the drive-through window at a restaurant. Whether it's a nurse, a police officer, or a fireman, or a paramedic who's putting themselves at risk to go out there and look out for you, your family, and the people that you love. The emergency room staff, nurses, doctors. The list goes on. Could be a plumber. Could be an electrician. A heating and cooling guy. Pizza delivery guy. It doesn't matter whether you view them at the top or the bottom. There's nobody greater than the next. This is going to help people understand that. This isn't going to this day and age isn't going to matter whether you're driving a Res Runner or whether you're driving a Mercedes. Nobody's above this. And maybe unfortunately, maybe it's something like this that's going to help people to see each other as human beings, not as Russians, Germans, Chinese, Koreans, Americans, Canadians, French, Italians. Those are all just labels. You take them away and we're all just one people. That's my message. My message is of love, compassion, understanding, guidance, nurturing, helping, forgiveness. Get rid of anything dark in your heart. Spend a little time feeling for the people around you, really truly loving and caring. Doesn't take too much energy to pray for somebody else. We have to address things if we see it. You see somebody saying something that's racist. Don't just overlook it. and say it's not my problem, tell them, hey, you know, I pity you and I feel sorry for you that you see people in the world that way. You know, and hopefully one day God will bring you understanding. Hopefully it won't hurt too much when He does. Um, I'm no saint. Like I said, I've done things in my life that I'm not proud of. But I've humbled myself before my Creator and I've asked for guidance. Um, I do everything I can within my power to help those that ask. Um, that doesn't make me better than anybody else. I don't seek recognition or acknowledgement. I'm not asking you for that now. Um, I do that because I do genuinely love and care about people. There was a time where I never believed I was able to do that, where I could, um, and today I do. I can tell each and every one of you that are listening to this video that I do love you. I love your family members, your relatives, your children, your grandchildren. I care about what happens to you, and I care what's going on today. And when I load the sacred pipe, the people's pipe, which means all of your pipe, when I load this pipe for you all, I will put these prayers in there that the hatred stops, that our people don't have to be afraid to go outside and getting beaten on because they believe that they're being mistaken for somebody who someone else believes is responsible for what's going on in the world. We all need to grow up a little bit, and we all need to take responsibility. Now, this is our world until we leave it. And how are we going to leave it for our children? Are we going to leave it a mess? Are we going to leave it in chaos? Are we going to actually get off our lazy asses and take some responsibility for each other, for each other's children, for each other's grandchildren? We all have a responsibility. There used to be a time you could drive down a road and pull up to a light, look at the vehicle next to you and wave at the person in the vehicle next to you, and they'd wave back and smile. You do that today and people look at you like there's something wrong with you, like you're nuts. What the hell's your problem? You know, that's how far our society has receded into anger, bitterness, and hatred. Well, it's time to help bring people out of the dark and into the light. And it's time to be that light, be that message that God intended you to be. And let's be there for each other. That's my message today. I just, like I said, I probably wouldn't have even done this video, but listen to a dear friend of mine and a brother um, who's who's Asian express his fear of having to go outside because, or his family to go outside because of the hatred out there. I'm a spiritual man, but don't ever let me see somebody. Don't let me come. Don't let me come across somebody beating on somebody out of hatred. Um, I may just forget my responsibility to that sacred pipe, and weigh the difference in my importance to that, my responsibility to that life that's getting beaten on, because that's a relative. That's one of my people. I love you all, and I wish only good things for you. You be in my prayers, and let's stand together through all of this. Let's put out a lot of good, positive energy, and let's be that voice of reason and strength, and 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 just be there. Let's be there for one another. Let's be the example. Let's be the message. Have a good evening.